Hi, this is Lisa Kepple. This is my executive summary on authentic assessments in physical education. During this summary, I will state my research question, describe why it's important to me, summarize my research, and discuss one piece of information I have found that is very interesting. My research question is, how can authentic assessments be created and used in physical education? There are many reasons why I believe this research is important. First of all, I want students to actually be able to use and apply the knowledge acquired in my class. I don't want them to just know it. I want students to be able to show what they have learned by applying it in a meaningful way. I believe authentic assessments can be used as a learning tool as well. Students are able to engage and construct meaning during their learning with real-world tasks and skills. Students are able to demonstrate their learning in a variety of ways that are creative, differentiated, and it allows them to have some freedom. Physical education needs more of this. Personally, I want to continue to work towards our school district's mission of igniting a passion for lifelong learning. Physical education is such an important class for our students. It needs to provide students with a meaningful opportunity to learn. I believe our students will be excited about being active and choosing a healthy lifestyle if they apply what they learn. And lastly, because I know many PE teachers feel authentic assessments are too time-consuming to create and implement. I do think it takes time. However, I believe if it's done well and correctly, it can completely change our students' attitudes. This question helps me and other physical educators know how to create and use authentic assessments in PE. On this slide, I decided to include two different quotes from different research that just really stuck out to me during my research time. It shows that students using authentic assessments really view the learning process as important and can link the skills used in the real world. It also states that authentic assessments may have the potential to narrow the performance gap among various cultures and therefore be more equitable in the assessment of different culture groups, which is another goal of the middle school movements. But an article I found on the development of authentic assessments for middle school classrooms by Moon, Brighton, Callahan, and Robinson discusses the rationale for developing authentic assessments for middle school classrooms, the different characteristics, and what to consider when developing authentic assessments also stuck out to me. During this piece of research, the University of Virginia's National Research Center on the Gifted and Talented had a 5-year research effort to develop differentiated authentic assessments that align with the curriculum and instruction to middle school classrooms in many different content areas. The staff focused on creating assessments that embodied key concepts, principles, generalizations, and processes critical to understanding in a variety of disciplines. They discussed that the state and national standards were the primary assessment targets. We always need to align what we do with our content standards. Tasks were designed to actively engage students in their own learning in challenging real-life situations, which required students to make connections with prior knowledge and skills. Clear communication of responsibilities and requirements were also very important. The results of this study begin to provide evidence that differentiated authentic assessments for classroom purposes can be developed to provide consistent information about student learning. The results suggest that these assessments can be used in middle school classrooms to assess students' attainment of academic learning standards. This piece of research really confirms my belief that we can and should be incorporating authentic assessments. Another piece of research I found was an article by Joseph K. Minta, which focuses on authentic assessments in PE, just the use and the perceived impact on students' self-concept, motivation, and skill achievement. The article describes and analyzes the extent and type of authentic assessments used in public PE. The public PE teachers took a survey or an inventory which showed authentic assessments to be used in public schools. Some of them included like teacher observation, self-observation, checklists, peer observation, and event tasks. Those happen to be the most commonly used forms of authentic assessments. portfolio and essay were the least commonly used. Public PE teachers in the study perceived that these authentic assessments enhanced positive impacts on the students. This research helps address part of my research question as far as what are possible authentic assessments in physical education. And on this slide, I've just listed a few. This research goes on to kind of investigate the perceptions about the impact of authentic assessments. And the PE teachers in this study perceived that overall it really provided a lot of positive impacts on students. When they used different teaching methods and different assessment techniques, it enabled the students to demonstrate their competence, and they saw positive changes and improvements in students. My last piece of research I will be discussing I found very interesting and applicable to my own physical education class. The research was based on portfolio use in college physical education activity courses. However, I believe with a few modifications I can apply this idea to my classroom. The study conducted in the research focused on determining the implications on student learning and motivation using digital portfolios as part of their participation in a season of volleyball. The study aimed to answer to what extent were the students able to develop authentic web-based digital portfolios, and then how well did students enjoy the class, their team affiliation, and learning how to develop and publish web pages. This type of portfolio allows the developers to collect and organize artifacts in many media types like audio clips, video clips, graphics, or text. Depending upon their role in the team, different artifacts were required from each student, and each student contributed to at least 2 web pages to their team portfolio. For example, the team manager was required to produce a team roster page and a team schedule page that showed their opponents' team names, as well as the dates when the team officiated. Some possible ideas that could be required in a PE portfolio is an index page, which could outline where various things are and maybe like a team logo. Another page could be a team techniques and tactics page. Another idea is a player biography page where each player gets to input their own personal information and things they might want to share. A team philosophy page that maybe includes what's important to the team. A team commitment page where there's a discussion or reflection on how the team is doing or how problems are being solved. Or maybe even a manager's page, which can include a team picture, a roster, or schedule. There were some other ideas included in the research. However, I think they would be very difficult at the middle school level. I think this would be a great way to incorporate technology and learn some online tools along the way. Having students have their own individual iPad is one major reason why I think this would work for my students. However, I still think it could be done if your students don't have an iPad. For example, I think teaming up with another class such as multimedia or another similar class would work. If the multimedia class taught the background of how to create a web page or give access to editing for each student, they could access their information and plug it in themselves. And what I love about the web-based portfolio is that students can have access to it at home and can work on it anytime. I'm still working on constructing my paper appropriately, but I feel the ideas I've gained from this research provide a lot of ideas of how and when authentic assessments can be used in PE classes. I think I am gaining valuable information which I plan to incorporate in my class. PE portfolios are just one piece of interesting research I have found before. My resources used are listed here. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation.